Hello and welcome to How to Love Successfully. This is a podcast for female leaders who are looking for that loving connection and making their love life as much of a success as their careers have been. Here we talk about dating successfully and creating a loving relationship. I am your host, Dr. Mari Kovanen. I'm a registered psychologist and a conscious dating coach. For the past 15 years, I have been working with individuals and couples and help them with their relationships. I share from my personal experiences of dating. I share my observations from working with clients about what makes relationships successful and how to find the right person for you. I would love to invite you to follow this podcast to get notified of the new episodes and join my email list. You will find the link in the show notes to get dating tips and notifications of any new materials. But now let's go into this episode. Hello and welcome to this episode of How to Love Successfully with me, Dr. Mari Kovanen. I'm a registered psychologist and a conscious dating coach. And today, again, we have a wonderful guest. We have Gemma Niece. And hello and welcome, Gemma.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited. This will be really good.
This will be lovely. So let me tell you a little bit about Gemma first of all. Gemma is an international sex and relationship coach, a yoga coach for high achieving women, teaching women how to have intimate, loving and healthy relationships that last. Gemma and her husband Darren suffered with their relationship after many years of trying and now have overcome those factors and have been together for over 23 years. Wow, amazing.
Thanks.
They suffered trauma through a miscarriage in 2012, but once recovered, it made their relationship stronger. Gemma and her husband have 2 children. She is located just outside of Brighton, England, and they love outdoor walks and being in nature and love spending time together as a family. Gemma and her husband backpacked around the world for 7 months in 2006 to save their relationship. Amazing. So today we are talking about relationships and building intimacy. We obviously mentioned a little bit about your own story already, but if you could tell us a little bit about how did you get interested in this whole area of relationships and intimacy?
Yes. So going back to the backpacking, we went in 2006 and we went to South Africa, China, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, New Zealand, LA and back home. And while we were in Thailand, we were there like in each area for around 6 weeks. And when we were in Thailand, I was just resting on a beach in Koh Phangan and I saw these 5 Thai people doing really weird things in the sand. And I was like, what is that? And it looked like yoga. I was like, wow, that just looks incredible to me. So then when we got to Malaysia, I bought a book, An Idiot's Guide to Yoga. And when we got to New Zealand, I then bought a mat. And I still have those like 16, 17 years later. And then that's how I got into yoga. So then I found it when we came back, I found that it helped my stress levels with my work, because then originally I was a veterinary nurse and I was for 19 years. And that's why we went backpacking in the first place, was because we were struggling with the relationship. And both of us were high achievers, or are high achievers still, and we just weren't seeing each other. So we needed something to do to bring that back. And I know it's really drastic going away for 7 months, but I then found yoga. So then that really helped me to get into my space. It helped me with the relationship. It helped me with self-care and things like that. And then I took on a business coach in 2019, and she was like, everyone's a yoga coach, because they are. Everyone's a yoga teacher. Most people that you speak to are, and you need a niche. And she was like, look at your relationship. Then I think it was like 19 years or something like that. Is look at what you've been through. Look how you've grown. You can use your story in your work. So I now use yoga, meditation, journaling, all these different tools and techniques with how I got through my struggles to then teach others how to have a real successful, happy life, happy marriage. And it all comes down back to you, instead of coming from like a broken like marriage counselor or something like that. they fixate on what is wrong, whereas I was fixate on where is wrong in your body rather than the actual thing, because then when you fix what's wrong in your body, you then can fix the outside stuff. Yeah, that's how I got into it. And then I left veterinary nursing in 2020. I do this and I absolutely love it. It's really good.
Oh my goodness, amazing. And a lot of times, of course, it is your own story that in some way inspires the work you do. And
yes.
But how amazing. And I guess it's many times is that relationship, there is that point of make or break, and you had to take that time really to go away together, and and what a journey that must have been. But also it sounds like it was very much of a self-discovery journey, and discovering yoga and everything that comes with it.
Yeah, it really was. And I think as well, we had just grown apart from each other. Like we were together, or I met him when I was 17 and he was 22, and we've been together ever since. So he was my first proper boyfriend. And yeah, it was a blind date. Never really looked back. But yeah, as we've grown, it's then different things have happened, and I've been more of a high achiever than what he was. So he was feeling like he was a bit struggling, and I was propelling forwards, if that's the word. And then he was struggling and back, and then we just weren't seeing each other. So I was just like, let's just go for it. And I think there was one point at the vets where a dog nearly died because of me, because we just had an argument at home. I came in, I was really upset. My mind wasn't on the anesthetic that I should have been looking after this dog. And yeah, then it was just like, oh my word. We then brought the dog back and the dog was fine in the end. But I had to tell the parents. You can tell I'm a parent now. You can tell the owners that this happened. And I thought, oh my word, this is the point where we need to go away and just do something together to save the relationship. And then we did. And even just like the first couple of days when we were in South Africa, I remember just being under the stars and looking up, and we just felt so happy. And coming back to that, I was like, I've got so much to give other people that I've been through, including the miscarriage and things like that, is and other people's death in the family, and just, I don't know, so many different struggles we've been together through, and we've seen it through. And yes, it's hard, but I feel that my story is strong enough to then tell others about it. And that's why I do it now, because I love what I do. And it's just so incredible getting those couples, or getting female entrepreneurs or high achievers to the point of happiness again. I love it.
Yeah, amazing. There's so many things to unpack here, really. What do you notice in your work? Perhaps what are the common difficulties that high achieving women have, and when it comes to intimacy?
Yeah, that you're constantly wanting to achieve the best possible thing. So you're constantly on your phone, or you're working, especially if you don't really work from home and you have a long commute, and then you're in the office 7 a.m. to, I don't know, 6, 7 p.m. at night. You've then got a long commute back. You're then constantly on your phone, or you're doing emails here, there, and everywhere. You never have time to switch off. Then you can't then cook dinner for yourself. You just want to sit on the sofa. You then just snack. You don't really have a proper meal. You then go to bed. The whole cycle starts again. So it's like you're constantly wanting to achieve more all of the time, which then something else in your life suffers, of which that could be the relationship. So when you're tired, you're frustrated, you're stressed, you're angry, you're anxious, maybe about that you've got a board meeting coming up tomorrow, or that something else is going to happen in the next week or so, you've got deadlines to deal with, you've got all this in your head, and then you come home and then you don't really want to do anything. So then again, you don't really want the sexual side of things. You're just so tired that you can't really be intimate with your partner, because you just don't have that left in you. And I see it so much in so many of my clients, because they want this, but again, they don't know how to have this kind of balance. So they need to bring the work-life balance back again. So it needs to be, life is slightly higher than work.
Yeah. Some parts of the women's empowerment, and some of the ideas maybe that we've been fed as women, and obviously women's rights, very much the previous generation fought for it. And then when it's now, okay, it's not perfect by any means, but women have really entered the workforce. And when I came to the UK, this shows my age, I came 2014, and as an au pair. not 2014, 1994. Why am I talking about? Yeah, long time ago. But I came as a 19-year-old au pair, and I came to support a family with 4 kids. And at the time, there were lots of au pairs, and there were lots of also mums staying at.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the culture has changed so much. And I suppose with this idea that now that women have gone into work and we want obviously equality, but there's also this myth that we can have everything at the same time.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah.
And
definitely.
It's quite damaging in many ways.
Yeah.
Because what you were saying there, you are obviously you want to succeed in work, and that's great, but you need to do everything in a way that then doesn't mean that then the other side of your life somehow does get ignored.
I see that a lot as well with high achieving women who have families, like both of us have families, and especially young families, it's very difficult because you want to strive for that full-time job or a job that suits you with your family, but also you don't want to get rid of that career because you've built that career up so much and you really enjoy it. But then also you're then still needing to come home, your mum, your wife, your everything else that is included in that. Whereas, in 94 and previous to that, like my mum didn't really work. She was or is still a hairdresser, but it was always part-time, whereas now it's you have to do the cooking, cleaning, keeping the house tidy. That's a big stress in itself. That's like a full-time job. And then homework, and then everything else with the kids, and then school drop-offs, pickups, everything like that, if you can do, if you're not commuting or you're working from home. And then you've got the relationship on top of that, and then that kind of just dwindles down to the bottom, really, because if you don't do any self-care and you don't really put yourself first, when everybody thinks that you should be at the bottom. But if you're at the bottom of the pile, you're then just existing. You're then not going to be giving to everybody your full 100%. If you put yourself at the top and you are 100% and you have 5-10 minutes a day to meditate or to do something that you want to do, that's not being selfish. That's making sure that then you can then come back into yourself and be the best parent, the best mother, the best wife, the best employee there is, because you've come back to yourself. So it's not selfish at all. And that's a stigma that's happened in the last few years as well, that it's not selfish to have this self-care. And yes, I was always like that. I couldn't sit down. I didn't want to, sit on the sofa and watch TV. It would be like, okay, I've got home, I need to do. And my husband was like, just sit down. I can't sit down. There's so much to do. But then until you actually build it into your life, you then think, well, actually, I can take time out now. I can sit on the bed and read my magazine or my book, or I can just take 10 minutes out. And it's trying to find the balance, I think, and it's hard for high achievers to do that.
Absolutely. And then especially women who are quite driven, work is exciting. It gives you something, gives you meaning, gives you so many things. It's quite easy to get into it and forget yourself. And of course, you're being rewarded for it. If you're high achieving and you want to achieve your goals and all of that, you're being rewarded for it. So your employer is unlikely to say, hold on, slow down. They want more and more of you. So you need to be the one who's putting the brakes. And being able to do that for women often is quite difficult when we've been taught that you need to be the nice girl, the one who after other people, follows orders or whatever it is in some way or on some level.
And only last year I found out that the 9 to 5, which we all do, certainly in England, is a male dominated. We all know it's male dominated, but it came from male stature. I don't know what the word is, but us, like men, have 24-hour cycles. We as women know that we have a 28-ish day cycle. So being the 9 to 5ers, we are trying to fit our 28-day cycle into those 24 hours. And you just think that's not right. So like at 3 or 4 o'clock, my husband can be a bit grouchy, a bit, stressed. But then I put it into, okay, that would be when we are due to bleed day, whatever it is, day 1 or day 2, if you do that cycle that way. So it's then putting it into that respect of, you need to really come into your body, track your cycle. It doesn't really matter if you're perimenopausal. Like I'm perimenopausal at the moment. I'm 41. My cycle last month was 35 days. The previous month was 24 days. Like, whoa, I'm everywhere. But you can then kind of start to think, okay, there's 4 parts to the cycle. Look into it because it is amazing. I love it. There's 4 parts to the cycle, and you can get different stages of your work done, different stages of your cycle. Now, if you're in perimenopausal or menopause, or if you've gone past the menopause, then you can look into the moon, because the moon cycles and has 4 different stages to its cycle. So we as women, females, are connected to the moon, and our cycles, if we're not on any contraception, will sync to that cycle as well. So it's really coming back to that. And if you've got pressure from your partner for, oh, I really want sex tonight, can we have sex tonight? And I'm really tired, I don't want sex tonight, I just want to cuddle, is that okay? Okay, I'm going to let this one go, but okay, can we schedule in some sex? And you know what, my husband and I, we put it in the diary and put, yeah, we obviously don't write it, but that means time for sex. But I sometimes I do, because no one sees our calendars, only us 2 can see calendars. But if you're in a big environment and you do work from home, and you can work from home, schedule it in, have something code word or something that you and your partner know, and then you can then start to bring that awareness and that intimacy back, because it does struggle. It does. I see it all the time in, high-powered jobs, or one person has a high-powered job, the other one doesn't, and the other one can't then understand why they've got to do so much. And just put your phone down. No, I can't put my phone down. I need to do this. So yeah, it's hard.
It's very hard. Yeah, absolutely. The struggle is there.
Yeah.
Talking about a lot of dating and building new relationships here. And we've spoken about maybe when you've already entered the relationship and you're finding yourself in a place where you are growing apart. What about then how to even start these conversations? Whether it's new relationship or this is already more established relationship, how to start the conversations talking about intimacy and likes and dislikes and all of that kind of stuff, because I think there's a lot of taboo about it, and people feel shame to even talk about it and so on.
And I see this a lot, actually. There's been a couple of conversations that I've had in the last couple of weeks that have been exactly like that. One person really wants to be intimate, the other one doesn't, and it's really hard to open up yourself to that, because you are being vulnerable, but it's how you look at it. Online there are loads of different love, I can't remember what they're called, love language quizzes, that's right. So what I would suggest is doing one of those. You might have one. Do you have one or not?
No. Well, I would recommend to go to the original author. But love, if you Google 5 love languages, it will guaranteed come up.
Yes. So I'd say do that. Then you know where your love language is and where you need to work on, what you need to work on. And then find the courage by doing breath work and meditation and going out and getting rid of this like negative energy, or write a letter to your partner and state, okay, this is how I'm feeling right now. I can't feel that I can bring it up right now, but I'm writing it all down so I don't forget. My words don't just come out as like bleh. I can actually write it down. And then when you've written it all down, you can then reread it back and think, oh, actually, yeah, okay, by reading it back, I now understand where I'm at. Maybe I can have this conversation. And I do it with my clients as well, is if I'm working with a couple, I get them to sit back to back. And so they're not actually looking at each other, but they're actually feeling each other breathing, because you can feel each other's chest moving, being back to back. And we just do a couple of gentle breath work exercises. And then I let one person speak and say whatever they're wanting to say. The other person doesn't speak. And then when that person's finished, they'll okay, I'm finished now, you can speak. And then sometimes they turn around, but other times they just don't, because they haven't got that pressure of looking at each other and seeing each other's faces and the expressions that each other are doing. Yeah, I certainly would recommend that, because that is the first step. Those 3 things in a relationship where you've got communication, trust, and intimacy. And this can be for dating as well. It's depending on when you're dating, how much you want to give away in like on the first couple of dates. You might be completely open and you might be scared that person away. Otherwise, it might be that both of you are quite open. I'm a very open person, I don't mind. But it's being honest as well. But if you've been hurt in the past, you then have got these walls up and these barriers up. So how do you get rid of those? It is through breath work, because breath work is incredible. It really brings you back into yourself and what you are trying to achieve. And by what we are wanting, a happy, healthy relationship with good communication. And actually, I was speaking to a client yesterday and it was so lovely. I did a post, I don't know, a few days ago, one of my daily reminders about communication. And she said she's been dating this guy for about 3 or 4 weeks. And it was really nice. And she sent a message saying, oh my word, your communication message was amazing. I didn't, and I've never been able to speak up in the past about these issues, but I came away from the date or whatever. And I was like, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. But it made her actually think about it and do it. And I thought, wow, that's so good, because it's having that courage and trust in yourself as well. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I often very much encourage exactly the same kind of breathwork, going inwards, all of that. It's almost like a building some sort of protective layer between you and the world.
Yes.
And turning inwards. And when you build that relationship with yourself, everything else on the outside, it's not that it doesn't matter, but it doesn't affect you so much. You can then speak more from where you are. You are more grounded. You are, okay, I have the right to express myself in this way, as long as you do it in a respectful way. It is so important, but that is so interesting. And how lovely to hear this direct feedback from your client.
Yes.
How much courage it takes really to have those conversations.
Yeah, it does. Especially if you've been hurt in the past and maybe you're new to dating, or you have, in a relationship that's less than a year old, you sometimes will then start to bring old traits that you haven't healed from yet from your past relationship into this now new relationship. And sometimes that can then affect the actual communication or trust or intimacy, because you're then putting your new partner in the box of your old partner when actually they're completely different. They have a completely different life background, everything like that. And you're worried that they're going to do the same thing that your old partner did. So by being open and honest, yes, it is the most difficult thing to be open and honest, just because of society. Like with the whole sex thing, I keep getting put in LinkedIn jail because I talk about it, because I talk about sex and I'm open and honest. And do you know what? I don't mind. I love what I speak about, and I'm happy in my body, I'm happy in my sexuality, that I can actually speak about this. And so many people have come to me and said, wow, this is a breath of fresh air. You're amazing what you do and what you speak about, because it needs to be said, even though I sometimes get shot down. But it is. And I think society, or even generational as well, we don't and not supposed to speak about it. Yeah, it's the most natural thing that we do. So why can't it be spoken about?
Yeah, humans wouldn't have evolved, and there wouldn't be these nations without. Let's just go to the core. It is one of our very basic human needs, really.
Yeah, it really is. Because also, when the whole thing happened in 2020, we were only with our families for, I don't know how long it was, 10 weeks or so. But as a human race, we are in groups. Like, you can think of us of lion and lionesses. Years ago, the women in all the tribes, even like in Africa now, I suppose they'd still do that, or third world countries, they will all look after everybody else's children. Pride of lions do. So then it makes sure then that one female, or one of the females, can then have time to relax, recoup, and then come back and feed. And it goes back to that really of, we need to be in a group setting rather than being on our own all the time. So then with society, social media, all of that kind of thing that's come in the last 30, 40 years, or even less than that, we now need to change the narrative and just speak up about all these different things, because it is a natural process that we do. It is natural. Otherwise, why would we be with our partner?
Have you got a dating dilemma? Are you wondering what is stopping you from finding love? If you haven't heard yet, I have free 30-minute dating clinic consultations available every month. And During these meetings, I will ask you specific questions to help you to figure out what is stopping you from finding love. You will leave with clarity and a plan how to move forward in finding love for you. You can find the details in the show notes, and I would love to see you there. Let's go now back to the episode.
Is there a certain process that you do with your clients when they come and work with you?
Yeah, so we break it down as to what, mostly I work with women, but I will work with couples as well. And I would always specifically ask, what is wrong with the relationship? Like, where do you need help with the relationship? And then we break it down a little bit more as, where do you need help within yourself? This sets you off. It could be, I don't know, your husband loaded the dishwasher wrong and that annoyed you. But it's not about that. It's about the steps beforehand. Lots of little things have happened and you haven't been able to speak up about it and communicate your feelings about this. Yet then he goes and does the dishwasher wrong, and then you just blow up because you haven't been able to let all of this negative energy out, and it's just built up and you then are stuck. So by coming back into yourself and really figuring out what's triggering you. So have you had a previous bad experience that you've brought into this relationship that you haven't healed from yet? And how can we move through that? So again, like meditation, journaling, breathwork, talk therapy, movement, go out and go for a walk, be in nature, go back to nature. And I always get my clients to do this as well. Go outside, take your shoes and socks off and just stand there. Even like I do it sometimes if I'm stuck at home all day working on the laptop, I just feel really cooped up and I just need to come back into nature, because nature is truly our biggest teacher. Yes. It's our biggest healer. And yeah, to come back into the power that you have within you. And then you can then start to open up more in your relationship. So why did your husband load the dishwasher the wrong way? Oh, because he said something to me going out the door this morning and I couldn't stop because I needed to get the train. Okay, so then what was that thing? Why did they say that? Okay, then it might have been something else that I did yesterday, or that someone in the family's riled me up. So it's all these little things that come back to this one big thing. And then with communication and trust and intimacy, all those three things, if one of them is out of sync, the rest of the relationship within yourself will be out of sync as well. So when you're 100% better and you feel that you can be, because you've done the healing work from within first, you can then start to heal your relationship on your own. You don't need me. And yes, I still do work with couples for relationship therapy and stuff like that, but it can mainly come back to yourself. So when you've started to heal yourself, and EFT tapping as well, I love tapping. I love that. That's just amazing, because that's getting out of that negative energy. And then once you then start to actually realize, oh, actually, he said that to me, I need to have this conversation right now. We can have this conversation right now. And then it's over and done with. It's done. You've moved on. Whereas Darren, my husband, and I are very much like that. We've learned to, okay, something's wrong now. We need to sort it out now. And whatever it is can wait, because otherwise it just snowballs.
Yes.
And you need to come back to that, because then you will feel like you want to cuddle or you want to be intimate with each other, because you're so far from that right now that you don't even want to hold hands. You don't want to cuddle. You don't want to be naked in front of each other, because I don't like you right now at all, because we've got so much of this negative energy flowing around that you can't then step into your power. Like you step into your power at work, step into your power at home and be the best version of yourself at home, like you would be in the boardroom. Do that at home, but find the tools and techniques that will help you get there. And it was not a quick fix at all, because you might have all this trauma, or even trauma that has come from ancestors, that is pain in your body. So it's noticing if you have a headache all the time, or you have tight shoulders or tight pelvis, move your body, get up and move, because pain is not good in your body at all, and it shouldn't be there. And the more we take drugs, which is okay as well, I'm not saying don't take them, as in paracetamol or whatever they are, or a lot of people I see as well are on antidepressants, go down the holistic route. Yes, you can if you want to as well, be on those. But yeah, I'd certainly
investigate. I always say to people, you need to investigate beyond. Don't just go with, because I'm not going to go into the whole discussion now about big pharma and all of that, but that is the history that they were pushed, and you need to be really aware of all the different options that there are out there. It's not just about the quick fix, but I guess it's the whole society is about quick fix. This is a quick fix now, I'll take this and then pain gone. But actually the pain is telling you something about something that you need, in whether it's in your body, in your relationship, something needs really attention here.
The same with sexual intercourse. If you are quite dry, then use lubricants. You don't mind me talking about this, do you? We can edit down. Then use things, because it should be enjoyable. And especially when we are stressed, anxious, things like that, we then tend to be in our head a lot more than actually being in the moment. So by journaling out your thoughts before you do, or just by coming into feeling sexy, go and put on a nice top or something that makes you feel good, then your actual sex will become that little bit better. And just tell your partner what you want, how you want to be touched, how you want to move, how you want to do this, because again, they're not mind readers, they don't know. But then again, with society, it's all taboo that you shouldn't, as a woman, touch yourself, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And okay, if you don't touch yourself, how are you going to know what feels good? How are you going to know what feels wrong to your body yourself until you actually do that? And it's not taboo at all, but it seems to be in this world, and it's not. And then once you know how you want to feel, tell your partner, or guide their hands around where you want to be touched. And then they can then get a sense of, okay, I will do that next time, or thank you for telling me, because I don't know, I'm not a mind reader. So yeah, being honest, being open, and using things like lubricants, they are amazing, especially if you are in the middle of your cycle and you're not on ovulation stage or phase, that's just gone, so you might be slightly drier, maybe perimenopause, menopause even, you're not bringing that natural juices into your body, so it is okay to use other things, and don't be afraid to use them, and don't be afraid to even speak to someone about it either, because that's another thing, people don't like to talk about it and think, oh, I'm the only person that's quite dry, or I'm the only person who doesn't like that. It's no, you're not the only one. It's very common.
Absolutely, all these women on this planet, you can't be the only one. So if there is one tip, one thing that you want people to take away from this conversation to have better intimate relationships, what's that?
Communicate to your partner how you are feeling at any time of day. And if like you haven't had sex for 3 or 4 months, maybe a year, send your partner a flirty text and say, okay, I want to do this to you tonight. And be like, whoa, where did this come from? Okay, oh yeah, let's get down to it, let's do it. But communicate how you feel. That is the one thing, because again, they're not mind readers, they don't know. Have the courage to speak up and say, by doing all of these tools and techniques, meditation, write out your journal, write out why you can't say this, why you can't communicate this to your partner. And then when you actually read it back, you're like, oh, actually, yeah, okay, I know this. Or say in your journal, why can't I feel I can say this? And then just sit there quietly, or go somewhere, go for a walk, and just listen to your body, because that is a communication in itself. Your body's trying to tell you something that doesn't feel right, or doesn't feel quite on point, whatever it is. So yeah, communicate your wants, desires, needs, anything, whenever you need to. Don't keep going and no, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that, because of, do it now.
Yeah, absolutely. That, I think that is such an important message really to take away. So how could people find you? What's the best way to connect with you if they want to know more about your work?
Yeah, my website is gemmaniece.com. Otherwise, I'm on LinkedIn as Gemma Niece Relationship Coach, I think. I think that's right. And Instagram is Gemma Haley Niece. So yeah, I'm on those platforms. Just send me a DM or send me an email and I will always say hi. I won't bite, trust me.
Is there anything like a freebie or anything that you have to offer? Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
I will send them in the links so you can have it. I've got a breathwork practice which can really bring the intimacy back into the bedroom just by using one breathwork practice. So I will send that to you. Yeah, and you can download it for free. And it's a video, so it's a 5-minute video, I think, that you can do every day and practice. And then, yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
Amazing. Yeah, all of those links will be in the show notes. Thank you so much, Gemma, for really having this conversation. It's been really lovely to have you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I've loved it. It's been really good fun.
If you learned something new, please leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. And that way, other women who are also looking for that loving long-term relationship can hear about this and be part of building a community of women who know how to date in a way that is not stressful, but instead is empowering. Share the words with someone. If you have a friend who also needs to hear this, please go and share with them and be part of their potential love story. Be part of they taking ownership of their love life, them feeling empowered and creating their love life. If you wanted to know more about the support that I offer for my dating coaching clients, you can find the details in the show notes. You can go and book a free 30-minute dating clinic consultation and get clarity on your dating situation and what is stopping you from finding love. And together we can figure out what is stopping you from finding love and help you to move forward and finally towards meeting the right person for you. And please remember, always give yourself the love you're seeking first. And that way you will attract the love you want in your life. Bye for now.